So, pretty much everyone knows this chest. I talked about it in my video yesterday about how to use a macroable mouse to automatically log out and then back into the game with just one button press. And I realized with just a little bit of tweaking on that macro, I could have it automatically run over here, loot the chest, and then repeat for me. So just let me show you real quick that it works. Press 7 on here. Automatically logs me out. Logs me in. You see my hands, I'm not touching anything. Takes a little bit longer with the recording. Checks my bags, runs me over, loots the chest, and then repeats. So let me just interrupt this real quick and I'll show you how to do this. So if you come over here into the UTech or the UTech Smart software that comes with the mouse, or if you have another macroable mouse, you could just use whatever software comes with that. If you don't want to get a macroable mouse, you could probably do this with PowerAutomate too. And I might make a video on that later if y'all ask for it. Just let me know. Anyway, go into macros and hit new macro. And we'll call it Enshrouded Auto Loop. And we'll just hit start record and I'll run through this. So start record, escape, W space, wait a second, space, skip the left click, space, D, space, wait a few seconds, B, wait a second, B, shift D, E, F, and then we'll just press space to add a delay, and then we'll delete the space. So stop recording, save. Let's get rid of that space before I forget it. And real quick, I'll run through here, and what I'm going to do is, as I work my way down here, I'm going to change every space, or every time in between a button press, so button down, button up, to 125 milliseconds, unless I say otherwise. And then all the time in between a whole button press and another button press to 225 milliseconds, except for the times where I want it to delay. So like right here, between the space where you're logging out and then the space where you're logging back in, and then where you're checking your bags, and where you're running and looting, and the time before it auto loops back. Okay, so let's go through here and let's tweak this. Let me just fix the recording. Okay, so now to tweak it. So I'll set this to 125. I'll copy it with my macro on 3. Or well, selecting it all with my macro on 3 and copying it with my macro on 1. And then I'll run through here and paste it with my macro on 2 to each of them. Which all this is Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and Control A to select all. Oop, don't want it there. And like I said, I'm just setting the time in between the button being pressed and released to 125 milliseconds. Looks like I got them all. Yep, okay. And then we'll set the time in between each button press, each whole button press. So like button down, button up, and then the next button down, button up. Set that to 225. Except like right here, this is the time in between the spaces, so I'm pretty sure that's 2500 is what we want. And then here's that tricky thing, because see there's a left click that we didn't add. So that left click goes after the third, or let's see, space, yeah, after the third space. So space. Wait, no, that's one space. That's another space. That's another space. Okay, so right here we want the left click. Nope, I got a little messed up. Got to click below the spot you want it to go. And then we'll add a little delay. There we go. Space, okay. Then right here, this is before the D, so now we just want that to be 225. 225. And then right here, we actually want this one. This is right before the B. We want this one to be 9600. For me, it's 9600 when recording, probably 8500 when not recording. Here, I only want to look at it for about a second. And then we'll get rid of the space between the shift and the D. And then we'll have D, shift D, depressed for about 3500 milliseconds to run straight east. Get rid of this. Change this to about 225. Oh, and then we'll add a 900 millisecond delay to open the inventory and loot it. And then we'll just make this 500 milliseconds break in between the loop. And then we'll set this to cycle. We can set it till any key is pressed, or however many slots we have in our bag. So for me, that's 48. We'll save it, and let's test it. Oh, I do have to assign it though. So let's go over here to macros, Enshrouded auto loot. This is the new one we just made. So let's press it. So far, so good. Pulling up the bags, running straight over, losing it, and repeating. Good. Yeah, now it's time to go get a drink and let this farm for me, I guess. If you don't want to build the macro yourself, I'll try to put a link in the description where you can get it off my OneDrive. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Bye.